What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? We're going to be taking a look at Process of Elimination. This is a demo for an upcoming game that really looks very, I can only describe as Danganronpa-y. You know, it's got that visual novel style. I think it's like a bunch of detectives, and they all kind of look like they're very anime-esque. They're all in like a mansion, and they're slowly killing each other, or there's a murderer that you have to find, something like that. I think this is just the first chapter of the game that's been released. I'm not sure when the full launch is of this, but like I said, I of the screenshots I've seen, of the description I've read, it looks very much like Danganronpa or the Nonary games, which are just right up my alley. So I thought, hell, man, you know what? I'm really tired right now. I have nothing else recorded, and I want to take a nap after I got home from my class today. So I'm gonna play this, take a nap, and then we'll see where I am and how much I can get done later tonight. So let's get this party started. It's a rainy day in June with clouds covering the entire nation. The live broadcast of a new gaming release is suddenly disrupted. Pardon me, but I'm conducting a quick survey. On one side, a recent grad. On the other, a total shut-in. Who do you despise more? I guess well, no, I'm also a shut-in, but whatever. Thank you for your response. Now, without any further ado, this loathsome shut-in shall disappear before your very eyes. This individual is hereby condemned to the fate of a quartered doll. Hello, dear consumers, and adieu to the consumed. How did it feel, dismembering the reviled with the simple press of a button? Quite good, no? Downright refreshing, even. It's best to eliminate those who don't share your values. Majority rules, after all. Whatever bloke thought that up was truly a sadistic genius. The opposition may be trampled, but there exists no better system. The path to peace must be painted by the blood of the minority. Those behind this policy, the eminent among the many, give less thought to the few than they would an ant. I must hand it to them. It's simply ruthless. Oh, don't look at me like that. It was a joke! A joke! I wouldn't want to get canceled on social media over this. I'm adding my own laugh in there. You enjoy it? Ah, goodness. This won't do. No. I've neglected to introduce myself. So sorry. I am His Grace. Or is it Your Grace? Let's say Your Grace, the Quartering Duke, an entertainer come to bring amusement to your world. From now on, every soul in this nation will be provided with entertainment to stir the mind. So please, indulge until you're full to bursting. Should you object to Your Grace's choice of recreation, you are invited to try and reveal his true nature. Such a show can't exist without diversity, you see. For this is a clash between tragic, savage carnage and the comical, cultural stylings of justice. Oh, we currently have about 5,000 viewers. Then, for tonight's final act, a question from Your Grace to all our viewers at home. The individual with the animal suit terrorized his middle school class as the lead bully. But his teachers, whom he sucked up to, favored him. He went places without atoning, using his father's connections to get a job at a major bank. This individual was saved by your first impression. With that, I ask, do you still like him? Should over half the viewers say so, I'll release him. Seems not even 500 people liked him. A shame, nothing short of a tragedy. Truly, the sorrow is too much to bear. However, the quartering dupe snaps his fingers. There you go. See, I'm even adding sound effects. That is what makes this the very finest entertainment. Alas, it will soon be time to part ways. As for myself, your duke that is, I am the enemy of those who mindlessly consume, and a friend to those consumed. Thus I take my leave. Do enjoy the show. Alright, I'm already sold. The video cuts off at 4 minutes 52 seconds. As a hacked broadcast, those who ran the website were powerless to stop it. The video, just shy of 5 minutes, is shared across the net, mostly among the youth. When things don't end with that, not just the broadcasted victims, but others killed in the same manner are soon discovered. The common thread, at least 2 victims are always found at once, with their lock screen set to the symbol of the quartering duke. The police pour all their resources into investigating the case, but turn up nothing. Pair by pair, more and more bodies surface, until half a year later, over 100 have been killed since the first broadcast. The sheer number of victims and brutality of the murders flings society into chaos. Quartering duke, an entertainer. What he's doing is basically a snuff show. Basically, it is, but alright, whatever. I grip my phone tight as I read articles about the murders, speaking aloud to myself. I've seen the effects of this duke all around me. People are terrified to go outside, and stores have even shortened their hours. What's worse, he's gained some traction among young copycats taken by his charisma. With the police overwhelmed, small private agencies like mine are in a huge demand. Apparently even the FBI is getting involved. Past events have already stoked the need for this line of work, but the Duke has only made things worse. The media jeers at the detective craze. Wait, so is this going to be taking place in America if the FBI is getting involved? Or is this like the whole Kira thing in Death Note, where the FBI started to get involved, but it was still in Japan? I'm curious. Mr. Gunjoji says the ideal society is a peaceful one, where detectives are starved for work. He may be right about that. As I lay in wait for my mark, I recall my mentor's words and sigh to myself. I work for the Gunjoji Detective Agency. It's probably one of the punier agencies around, though, nowadays. We're buzzing with activity. I'm a student working part-time, but they plan to recruit me once I've graduated. The situation must be getting pretty serious nationwide. See, I was about to say, are we a high school student? Because our uniform looks very much like a stylized high school uniform. An ideal society has no use for detectives, huh? The thought alone makes me a bit miserable. Is this the reality faced by all aspiring detectives? Okay, that's enough of that. My worries run wild when I'm on my own. It's a bad habit, but I've got to focus on work. There he is. My mark is on the move. Oh my god, that is a mustache. After a moment's pause, the man clad in a trench coat starts off down the road again. I make sure I'm out of earshot before calling in my report, just as my mentor had instructed. Watto here. The target is on the move. He's headed right where you predicted, Mr. Gunjoji. I'll stay on the lookout for any traps as I continue tailing him. Quieting my steps, I follow the man cautiously. He's our top suspect in the serial pet killer case, and according to Mr. Gunjoji, he may be armed. Whatever I do, I absolutely cannot allow my presence to be detected. Can I help you? Suddenly, the man is right in front of me, and I reflexively take a step back. Can he notice me following him? Despite the cover of darkness and my voice being out of earshot. No, I'm all good. I'm actually running late for cram school, so gotta go. As I try to move past him, the man blocks my path. I doubt you'll make it in time if you keep matching my pace and stopping every time I do. Your expression gives everything away. -1 point. Not that you should really be that surprised. You would only stop on a completely empty street like this if you were tailing someone. That or checking if someone's tailing you. So the very act of pausing here was a trap. How could I make such a rookie mistake? I didn't even consider it didn't even register with me. I have no one to blame but myself. You're a fresh face. Who are you? Certainly no detective or policeman. Given your noisy slipshod attempt at shadowing me. No detective. Blood rushes to my face. I poured everything I've had into becoming bit my tongue. I poured everything into becoming a detective. His words sting worse than a slap to the face. There's no way I can just let that slide. Don't patronize me. I'm Wato Hojo, assistant at the Gunjoji Detective Agency. Gunjoji is really hard to say. We already know you've been snooping around here, and that you have a knife. You're suspected of severe animal abuse. Now, come quietly. I'm turning you into the police. I'd hoped the edge in my voice would intimidate him. Really? You're a child. You're not going to intimidate him. But the man only lets out an exasperated sigh. Actually, giving out your name? -3 points. This isn't some TV show, kid. Real detectives never reveal their true identities. I bet you can't get enough of those over-the-top crime dramas, can you? As much as I hate it, he's read me like a completely open book. The moment a detective reveals himself always seems so cool on television. But he's right, sharing your identity in this line of work is far too dangerous. Something to keep in mind next time. And does the detective's assistant plan to arrest me all on his own? A grown man you fully believe to be armed? The man slides his hand into his pocket and readies his stance. He's clearly holding a weapon. This isn't the first time I've gone up against someone armed with a knife, but I still feel my hair standing on end. My heart slams frantically against my ribcage as I freeze up, willing my trembling legs to remain steady. No, I know I'm not ready for that, so instead I called for backup. I just need to buy time until my boss arrives. You think you can buy yourself time, Mr. Wannabe Detective? I will. In fact, I have to. One of the pets you killed belonged to a classmate of mine. She's still terrified and traumatized as a result of your prowling about. Being a detective, it's my duty to stop you. Bringing you to justice is the only way to restore the peace in her life. I'll be damned if I let you escape. I tear off my jacket and wrap around my left fist to form a makeshift glove to guard against his knife. In my dominant hand, I grip a pair of handcuffs like brass knuckles. Armed as best I can, I face off with the man. The man just watches me, showing no sign of movement. Good. He's probably never seen anyone use handcuffs for self-defense before. It's only natural he'd be wary. I learned this trick from Mr. Gunjoji. What's great about it is that it never fails to catch people by surprise the first time. I need to stall this out, even if it's just for a little while. Keeping this face-off going is my top priority. The Yakuza School of Arrest Techniques. I take it. Quite the rare fighting style picked up, boy. I'm struck speechless. What are the odds he'd know this tactic? I stumble for an answer, but my mind goes blank. Paralyzed in the face of an enemy. -5 points. Don't expect odd techniques to phase a man of my age. It would work on your typical criminal, however. You were quick to adapt when all odds were stacked against you. That's an exemplary quality in a detective. You get 10 points, kid. I see why the chief endorsed you. The man suddenly backs down and speaks with a smile. Wait, what? Is this another trap? Glancing my way, he continues. Sorry for the misunderstanding, but the culprit you've been looking for is the victim's neighbor. I've already handed him over to the police. No job, no comfort, no direction in life, until he became obsessed with the quartering Duke and decided to follow in his footsteps. He couldn't work up the nerve to hack people apart, but animals gave him no trouble at all. Disgusting. Who are you exactly? Upon hearing my question, the man pulls what looks to be a tablet out of his pocket. The screen shows a familiar symbol in the words Detective Alliance. Detective Alliance? I can't help but yell out the name. The Detective Alliance, the very organization I revere more than anything else. That's right. I'm part of the Detective Alliance, the only government-recognized detective organization in the country. I'm sure an aspiring detective like yourself has heard of it. Of course. It's a mysterious coalition of 100 renowned detectives that always send the perfect match for the job. The Alliance has solved every case it's ever had, and each of its members has an alias based on their defining traits. Is his mustache? Looks like you know quite a bit about this mysterious coalition, detective fanboy. As I calm down, my face begins to burn bright red. I let my excitement carry me away on my totally nerdy rant. Still, the Detective Alliance has been the dream I've aspired to ever since I learned about it from Mr. Gunjoji. That D-pad you're holding is a hallmark of none other than the Alliance itself. You really are a detective, aren't you? Bingo. Call me Senior Detective. Been in the Alliance for eons, though these days I mostly scout recruits and provide support. Still, none of the younger generation can out-investigate me, especially with cases as cold as that pet killer one. As prideful as he sounds, I can tell by his expression that he's speaking purely from well-earned experience. He has an air about him that's unlike anyone I've ever met, the kind that could only come from a member of the Detective Alliance. As secretive as it is, the Detective Alliance has grown more famous by the day thanks to the recent detective craze. Even now, the news is full of stories about the cases cracked by the Detective Alliance members. And there's all the terrorist plots in the wake of the Quartering Duke incidents that they've thwarted with almost zero leads. The whole reason I joined a detective agency was to carve a path, earning a spot alongside those detectives one day. Seeing all these silhouettes, does anybody see why I'm saying this is very Danganronpa-y already? Looked up to by detectives far and wide, the Detective Alliance is the absolute paragon for those pursuing justice. I apologize for my rudeness, Senior Detective. Sir, shouting accusations at you when I couldn't be more clueless. Don't be. I was egging you on, after all. No need for the sir, either. In our field, the alias itself serves as a title of respect. The Senior Detective amicably shrugs off my apology. His unshakable calm only makes me warier of where this is going. Then, as if noticing how on edge I look, he continues to speak. I'll cut to the chase. I'm here to scout you. We plan to meet at our base of operations to discuss how to handle the Quartering Duke incidents, and we want you to attend. I respond lamely, unable to fully grasp what he's saying. I'll say it again. We want you to join our investigation of the Quartering Duke case as a member of the Detective Alliance. The sound I make is so shrill and alien, I scare even myself. I pinch my cheek to make sure this isn't just some dream. Nope, not a dream. Maybe this is Mr. Gunjoji's idea of a prank. No sign of him anywhere, so probably not. Which means this isn't a joke, right? Not at all. We've received direct orders from the government to put an end to the Quartering Duke's reign of terror. The chosen few detectives will convene at HQ to solve this case and take down the most vile homicidal maniac of the century. My mind goes blank again. But if this is real, then my dream is coming true, far sooner than I ever imagined. There was so much I could learn, so many accomplished detectives I could meet. Ideal detectives like the one I aspire to be, the kind who could have prevented the tragedy that unfolded before my eyes 10 years ago. I'm sure you have a million questions, but I want to hear what you intend first. Will you join us at the table and help stop the Quartering Duke? Give me your answer. Yes or no? How can I hesitate? I state my intentions loud and clear. Yes or yes. The moment I try to answer, Senior Detective's arm hooks around my neck and begins to squeeze like a vice. It's so tight, I can't breathe. I flail and kick frantically, but all I hit is air and the ground below my feet. I feel a prick as a slender needle pierces the skin of my neck. What feels like liquid ice begins to pump through my veins. My skin turns pale, my limbs go numb, and my strength fades. My vision blurs as my legs start to give out. I sag against the man restraining me. And then, as if the stars have been swept from the night sky, everything goes black. Well, it's true that I asked. There was never actually the option to refuse. For you see, you have a duty to attend, the Detective Elimination Project. Okay. I haven't felt this way in a long time. My consciousness drags sluggishly as if I'm trapped in thick mud, helplessly sinking deeper and deeper. As much as I try to shut it out, that traumatic nightmare pulls me in once again. In my dream, I'm running down a dark, frigid corridor, holding on tight to the hand of the girl my age. Watto, I can't run anymore. You need to go on without me. You have to escape. What are you saying? Saika, we're getting out of here together. I made a promise, didn't I? But my legs. The girl is beautiful, with bewitching black hair, pure white skin, and light purple eyes reminiscent of hydrangeas. I remembered nothing else about her, but I'm sure that at the time she was very precious to me. And then, right before my eyes, a blade swings down and slashes her, covering her in a burst of red. Saika, why? I clutch onto her before she can collapse and face the criminal that did this to her. Is it aliens? The massive, unmistakably inhuman silhouette emits a strange, mechanical whir. Its murderous intent is nearly enough to pierce through the flesh as it focuses on me. I prepare to die as no more than a child. But at that moment... Go. Watto. The girl in my arms strains to get the words out as her voice begins to fail. I might escape if I leave her now and run, but maybe I can still save her. There's no way I can just abandon her. You have to live. Become the hero who will save everyone. No. No! That's all I can remember. My memory cuts out completely, as if the next page had been torn out. However, since I'm alive, it's obvious what I came after. I traded Saika's life to save my own. This was the mass kidnapping and confinement incident I was in a decade ago, the reason I became a detective. A shadowy organization took 16 children and locked them in an underground prison for a month, never to be caught. Am I supposed to just live? Holy shit, this does sound like the Nonary games. Am I supposed to just live with the sacrifices that came of that? Like Saika? I was too incompetent to save even one girl, but I refused to leave it there. My heart and soul demand I see it through. I will become a great detective, a hero, and one day I'll reveal the truth behind what happened 10 years ago. I'm serious. If anybody remembers the plot of the Nonary games and how that game played around with time and everything, that sounds very familiar. I finally come to. My eyelids are so heavy, just opening them is an undertaking. That was one long dream. It was one I've had countless times before. That fateful day I swore I'd become a detective. The incident remains unsolved to this day. What really happened all those years ago? As a survivor, the vague testimony I provided didn't help much. The case has gone cold for 10 years now. I've got to find the truth, to track down the villain who killed Saika, the girl I owe my life to. That's why I entered this line of work. Put that aside, my whole body is aching right now. My mattress feels like a rock and smells like rust. I managed to pry my eyes open, but everything's pitch black. What's more, I can't even move. My limbs are restrained, like I've been wrapped in some kind of sleeping bag. Don't tell me I'm trapped in here. What's going on? Mustering all my strength, I try to worm my way out. Suddenly, my vision is flooded by a bright light. Whatever restrained me slackens as my own momentum forces me upright. The sight I'm met with is a forest. And that sound, are those ocean waves? Lush woodland lies before my eyes. Beneath me is an old rusty locker. Guess that's what I've been stuffed into just a second ago. Ow. My whole body's killing me. How long was I crammed inside this thing? Who would do this to me? And why? When did I even get here? What the heck is going on? My head swirls in confusion as I try to recall what happened last. That's right. I met that old man, senior detective, and then the haziness clears as I begin to remember. I was suddenly attacked by senior detective and eventually lost consciousness. He claimed to be a part of the Detective Alliance, but maybe that was just a bluff. Wait, if he was lying about being a part of the DA, that means the pet killer is still at large. I've got to get back ASAP. I reach to grab my smartphone, but after a frantic search, I realize that my front pockets have been emptied. As I continue searching my person, I notice an unfamiliar weight in my back pocket. That's weird. I don't normally keep stuff there. Suspicious, I carefully pluck the foreign object from my pocket. Okay, weird aside here. Does anyone else other than me keep their wallet and keys and everything in their front pocket? I do. I don't keep it in my back. I know people keep their wallet and stuff in their back pocket. I find it very uncomfortable to sit. And I like to sit. I'm fat. But yeah, I always keep mine in my front pocket for that reason. It's easier to access too. I don't know. It is a personal thing. I'm just curious. Am I the only one, or is that like slowly becoming the thing? Because I know like my dad still keeps his in his back pocket. So I don't know. Just curious. It's a tablet device, like an oversized smartphone, more or less. Why didn't you just make it a smartphone? Whatever. The moment I see it, though, chill runs down my spine. No way. Is this... I lift it up, touching the buttons out of habit. Then a notification appears. Authentication successful. Good morning, Wato Hojo. Seems you got your D-pad working, Sure you were drugged, but sakes alive, boy. How cold for 3 days straight? -1 point. As the tablet comes to life, a familiar voice emanates from the speaker. This is Senior Detective, the agent who brought you here. We met 3 days ago, though to you I suppose it would feel like it only just happened. Wait, I was out for 3 days? So Senior Detective's the one reaching out to me. I knew I recognized the voice from before. Still, his tone is pretty nonchalant for a kidnapper. I can't help but feel irritated. While I'm certain you think I've deceived you, you are, in fact, the newest member of the Detective Alliance. If you doubt me, view the detective roster on your D-pad, an electronic device you know as a trademark of our alliance. As an official member of the alliance, your personal information should already be recorded in the database. I open up the tablet and look through the roster he mentioned. There, I find my profile, beginning with my full legal name. Wato Hojo, detective rank 100. Yep, that's me. Even list my details only Mr. Gunjoji would know, like my skills and work experience. Okay, cool. Wato Hojo, alias unrecorded. I thought it would be something like fanboy or something like that. Ability details. Okay, yeah, I've seen that there's kind of like a grid-based sort of movement in this game. It's more than just a visual novel, and like in Danganronpa, you had the cases and everything to solve, or you had the escape room puzzles in the nonary games. Like there's another gameplay mechanic added within this. So I'm curious to see what all these stats have to do with anything. Then you have Senior Detective, retired, 419. Shit. Eccentric architecture series, the Alice Castle killings. People watching, do it yourself. His hobbies are people watching and do it yourself. Architectural design. Cool. So he's the lowest rank, no notable cases, no cases solved. Collecting publications on homes. That makes sense. Special skill is housework. Oh, shit. Sorry, I'm trying to... I'm professional when it comes to housework. Okay. Holy crap, there's a good amount of characters here. So you have what the Detective Alliance is. And detective rank. Damn it, I was hoping I could... There'd be English voice acting. Who knows, maybe when the game gets fully launched, it'll have English voice acting. For the good love of God, have English voice acting. Ouch, my special skill is housework? I'm no great detective, sure, but that's a low blow. I wonder what else is on here. It lists other detectives' ranks and aliases, too. Not to mention intel and investigation status on recent atrocities. from the latest incidents all the way back to before I was born. It's a robust selection of key documents about cases infamous to the public. Far too much for one person to read. Frankly, even at a glance, most of the content seems to be highly technical in nature. This is way too much effort for a prank, meaning the DA really did recruit me. Can I trust what Senior Detective says? So, I've actually been recruited by the Detective Alliance. This isn't a joke, right, Senior Detective, sir? You're listening to a recording at present. An emergency came up, so I've hidden you in the woods while I go to address it. Yeah, that's normal. I have hidden you in the woods. Yeah, so that's how it is. I assume this was a phone call, but I guess that's not the case. The device's settings must have been configured to play this voice message as soon as it finished authenticating. When you're ready, open the map on your D-pad, then make your way through the woods and head for the manor at the peak. Once there, you should soon meet the others. I promise to head over myself once I'm able to, so just wait for me in front of the manor. And one last thing. Do not, under any circumstances, enter the structure you'll see along the way. Unauthorized entry will result in far worse than a subtraction of points. Follow my orders like your very life depends on it. Senior Detective speaks without pause. The moment he's finished, the sound cuts out abruptly. I stand there in a daze, holding the tablet, my new D-pad, in one hand. I lift my head and peer through the tree line, making out the shape of the mountain with an imposing manor resting on its summit. Is that the building Senior Detective was referring to? While I don't fully trust him, my options are limited. Pressed for choice, I open the map application on my tablet. Various graphics appear on the screen, displaying the surrounding area. All that blue surrounding everything must be the ocean, which means I've been taken to a remote island. Morgue. Is that the name of this place? Never heard of it. Could I be in a foreign country or something? Either way, getting all gloomy won't solve things. I use my fingers to zoom in on the map, hoping to find more info to go off of. Gormenghast. That's spooky. The screen displays my current location and a few details about the vicinity. Just as Senior Detective said, there seems to be some sort of manor atop a peak, plus another structure near the tree line. Without any other clues to guide me, I decided to follow Senior Detective's instructions for now. I need to register my detective alias on here, but I don't have any talents, and I definitely regret putting something random. Nope, I've got nothing. I'm serious, I fully expected his detective alias to be Fanboy. The tablet hums quietly as I trek on. Before long, I see a parting in the trees. Massive heliport stretches before me. To its right sits a relatively small 3-story building. Though it blocks my line of sight, I assume that the manor is just up ahead at the top of the hill. The structure here must be the one Senior Detective warned me against entering. It's not like I really trust the guy, so I'm admittedly a bit curious to sneak a peek inside. But as soon as the thought crosses my mind, a sudden sense of unease washes over me. On my tablet's map, I see numerous circular icons displayed within the building's walls. And not just a handful either. Dozens of icons crowd around like ants swarming over food. Judging by my own marker on the map, I think these icons are all people? But if that's the case, what does this mean? My apprehension refuses to die down. I get the sense that going in there would only end in regret. Just as Senior Detective had warned. Getting tongue-tied. I need to decide my next step carefully. Ooh. Can I save? Alright, we're dropping a save. Because we're going in. No doubt about it. I've got to check the building out first. It'd be risky to just blindly trust Senior Detective after all. These circular icons are obviously people, which would indicate others are already in there. It makes a lot more sense to meet with them here instead of wandering around on my own. Senior detective must be trying to prevent me from joining up with anyone else. That's gotta be it. I speak aloud, desperately trying to calm my frantic heartbeat. With great trepidation, I slowly approach the entrance. A dark shadow is faintly visible from the glass of the building. Just as I had suspected, there are other people here. Please be zombies. Please be zombies. Without a moment of hesitation, I push the glass door open and rush inside. Hello, I'm a new member of the Detective Alliance, and... My voice hitches and my eyes widen like saucers as the train of thought comes to a grinding halt. All from the shock of seeing the horrific scene that lay before me. Just dead bodies. A large mound rests in the open space beyond the entryway, a haphazard pile, blackened and dead, reeking of rotten cheese and fetid garbage. Convincing myself that it's fake, I draw closer. Then I lock eyes with one, its cloudy gaze a stark reminder of our shared mortality. It's heartbreakingly clear this corpse once belonged to a living being. My stomach lurches, its contents spilling from my mouth. I can't take it. Sinking to my knees, I suck in heavy breaths as my heart hammers so hard it threatens to burst. Senior detective must have known. Regret fills me for not heeding his warning. I want to run, to break away and leave this place forever. I desperately focus all my energy into every lungful of air I take. But my pulse won't slow down. In fact, it keeps growing faster. My chest burns like it's on fire. No matter how hard I try to inhale, my chest only aches more and more until finally I can no longer breathe. What is happening? I can't. My instincts tell me I've got to get outside, but all my limbs are numb from the lack of oxygen, heavy and useless, as if I'm deep underwater. I crawl, inching along like a caterpillar, but the exit is too far away. A feeling of doom overwhelms me as my strength ebbs away. I can't breathe. I need air. I can't take any of this anymore. Please, help me. Desperate, I try to scream, but I can't muster a sound. The pain is agonizing. All thoughts leave my head, despite knowing no one will save me. My mind still cries out, help, someone, please, help. I can't breathe, it hurts. I need to get out. I don't want to die. Help, somebody, please, help me. Help me. Help me, help me, help me, help me, help me. Help. Something snaps, my vision fails, but at least the pain in my chest is finally gone. Game over. Yeah, I had a feeling it was going to be game over. That's why I saved before I went in there. With a start, I see the heliport stretching before me once more. I take deep breaths, trying to calm myself. The air tastes good somehow. Not sure why, but I feel like I just woke up from a nightmare. Oh, right. I was deciding whether I should check out the building or head to the manor. A fateful fork in the path. That's interesting. That's really interesting. Again, I'm getting massive Nonary games vibes. So, like, what is our special power? If we die, we get reborn. Like that. That's cool. And I'm gonna guess the reason he couldn't breathe, it wasn't a panic attack. It was, nitrogen. I believe if you fill a room with nitrogen, it displaces all the oxygen. So you're sitting there trying to catch your breath, but you can't. I don't know. I'm just throwing out a guess. All right, guys. I think we're going to call this one here. We'll pick up in the next one. I'm very intrigued. I want to keep seeing what this demo has to offer. But as with anytime I play a visual novel on the channel, I prefer to keep things on the shorter end because I have to talk a lot and I get dry mouth. So we're going to call it here. Thanks for watching. Social media in the description. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I will see you in the next one, which is hopefully later tonight, as long as I wake up with enough time to get some recording done. If not, it'll be tomorrow. Yeah, I think that's all I got for you. I'll see you all in the next one. Till then, guys, I'm out.